Let's see. Chris, do you have any opinion on Flipgrid versus Seesaw? Are they similar? Seesaw is a little more robust. I think there's a lot more that you can do with Seesaw. I think Flipgrid is getting to be more robust, but it's definitely, I don't think it's anywhere close to Seesaw. So that's my opinion on that. Robert Gerson has a question about Class Dojo. Does anyone have any knowledge or understanding about Class Dojo? Because I'm really sort of behind on that.
No, not this, Allison. I don't have experience with it.
I do have something that I wanted to be mentioning.
Nice. Okay, go ahead.
Because I need to get onto my class chat. I got closer with Class Dojo yesterday.
Okay.
I found out that I had not hit an invite button. I thought I'd done it just by inviting them at the time, but I needed to actually hit a button.
Okay.
So if I give them my class code, the parents, would that be enough to
have them join?
Get them in?
Yeah.
Okay.
That should work. You know what? We're in this time of great and wonderful experimentation right now. So I'm gonna say just go for it. I'm all about going for it and giving it a try. So I would say just go ahead and do it, but it should work. It sounds like it, because what I know about it is it works like Remind. I have been on the parent side of that and have joined in. I think it's great as long as you are, as long as you're posting regularly. I think it's great.
This is primarily for parents, so that's all I'm doing.
So,
but
Robert,
I'm trying to get them all in.
Robert, if you want to use me as a test case again, like you did for your Google Classroom, and shoot it over right now or whatever, I'm happy to do that, send you screenshots of what comes up for me or whatever.
Okay, and since I got your email, I'll do it that way.
Yeah, just abogie@wccusd.net. You're welcome to do that anytime, honestly.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Rachel, to mute yourself, just click on the big screen, and then what comes up, or actually you can just move your cursor down to the bottom of the screen. What comes up is yeah, and then you just click on the microphone. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, David Ranch, you know what? We're working on it there. Just so you know, for Google Hangouts and Meet. So Hangouts are like the texting part of it, and Meet is the actual videoing part of it, or video chat part of it. There is a really great link, and I'll put that up here, but I need to put it on the eLearning site as well. It is step-by-step. It's from Google, though, so it's a little bit different. In terms of conducting read-alouds with their students, they want to know how to, record the reading. A lot of people are doing that right now, so I think I need to work on this Screencastify issue, as well as YouTube. There are ways to do this through YouTube. How do I mute all on Google Meet, or you got to do it one by one? Sorry, Silka. Silka wants to know, how do I mute on Google Meet, or do I have to do it one by? You do have to do it one by one. I no idea why that's the case, but that's the way it is. I have this funny feeling that Google will be doing making a lot of changes to Google Meet because of what's going on. Just so you know, we are aware of the issue where when you invite kids, they can come in later and then have their own private conversations without you there. We have put in, as a district, for Google to actually stop that, so that we can start and stop meetings without them always being there. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. Well, that's hopefully what Google is working on right now. Let's see. Epic is now offering access without time limitations, but teachers need to email parents to join. Since it is already on Clever, can the update be automatically done? Francie, any ideas?
So Epic is not free forever. It is, so we still want to keep doing what we've always been doing. You go in as a teacher, you set up your teacher account, you get a code, and you give it to kids. If they access through Clever, your code is their username and there's no password. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. But you have to sign up on Epic Educators. If you go to the regular Epic account where they're offering stuff where the parents do, it's free, it's unlimited for now, but they're going to get, you know, lots of requests to sign up and get a subscription, and they're going to get lots of ads forevermore.
Okay. All right, so let's see what else we've got going on here. So Silka had a good question about doing things in Meet versus Hangout. So the deal with Hangout is mostly the way that we have it turned on is that Hangout is texting based. That is not turned on for the kids. What is turned on for the kids right now is they can join a Meet. Meet being an actual video chat. That's what we're doing right now. The Meet actually is always on. It has that same, in fact, this particular Meet has the same code the whole time. So it has the same link, the same code, which means, yes, if you guys want to jump in to it at some point, you can without us, because it's always there. It's the same with the kids. This is something that we're trying to turn off. We're trying to get that to be turned off by Google, but Google has to do that. So that's the deal. Hangouts not available for kids, available for teachers, and some teachers are using it to do texting groups. I know that the technology teacher leaders are using it as a group right now. Okay, so Silka, I hope I answered your question. Let's see, what else do we have? Tracy, the math team played around with me yesterday and we found anyone could mute and turn off the camera on anyone. That's not very nice. That's really not very nice at all. I will work on some resources. I did earlier, and this is before I started recording, I did mention to Rachel that actually through YouTube, you can make recordings and you can edit them, and that may be a really good way to use YouTube. But then you could also put it into Edpuzzle and have questions attached. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Everyone hearing everyone except I couldn't hear the kids. Okay. When I set up the Francie, did you see Jasmine's follow-up epic question?
It's
Or,
Allison. I'm actually I'm gonna email, sorry, I don't know if it's Jasmine or Yasmin. I will email you right now because another teacher asked me that question, and I'll just say it's really easy. I'm sending you a slide deck that has information about how to use it, but if other people have the question, I can screen share right now. Let's get through the other questions and then, oh, Rachel's saying yes, please. I think I can show you guys in my Epic account how to do that. Do you want me to go ahead and do that, or do we need to get to other questions first, Laurie?
No, go ahead. That sounds great. Please do.
Okay, let me open up the window. The qualification that I am doing this for my own children and then some of their friends. So that's what you're going to be seeing is just a few names. Okay, now I need to share my screen, right? Learning every day. Your entire screen. Share. Thank you for your patience. All right. Okay. Can you guys see Epic right now? Can someone just respond and say yes? Thanks. Okay. Okay, so I'm clicked away from the chat. So if you have a question, you need to speak up. All right, so there's this banner at the top. School closed, get free remote student access from your teacher, learn how. So again, it does have to come from you. So I'm gonna go in, I think I can show you how to do this, log in, bear with me. So I'm logged in already. I'm gonna go to my roster. How do I do this? My students. And I will add another person. So these are my students, these are my friends' kids and mine. And let's say for guest parent 1, or here, I'll add another student. Francie, you're the best, I'm gonna add you. Okay. Okay. Francie's mom's email is, we'll just pretend. So again, it does require the parents having email, checking email, and then going into it. And so now the parent is going to get an email that says, basically, do you want free Epic access for your students? And they click a thing that says yes, and they don't have to put in a credit card. So that is what I can show you. There's also this banner, this orange banner. Oops. This is how I learned how to do it. Maybe. Let's go. All right. Okay, that's the best I can show you right now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. What questions do folks have? All right, if you have a question, oh, Yasmin, because of what Francie said, that Epic and Clever don't really play together, you do have to do each individual email. I'm sorry. I think it's worth it. That's what my own kids are doing right now. It will consume this entire hour so that I can be on here. I don't know what else to say about that. Laurie, you're muted.
Yes, I am. Sorry. I have my own child at home. We're calling it Mama's homeschool. So sorry, I was just like working with him about like his math. So
no worries. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
I'm back.
Yeah. Oh, Lucy, okay. Yeah, the good thing about Epic is that it's really pretty user-friendly, and I have to say, I mean, the kids like don't need any directions once they get into it. It's just a matter of getting into it, which is a little bit difficult for the adults. But yeah, and then you can monitor what your kids are doing, which is cool. Lucy, aren't you middle school?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
So Francie, if you're gonna email Lucy, why don't you send her some other ebook info too, like Sora? Okay, that makes sense, Lucy. Cool. Just for you to know, Lucy, I have a ton of high-low stuff on Sora. I think there's a whole collection at this point about high-low books. Again, I don't want to hijack this whole thing, but if folks want to see it, I'm happy to direct you real quick onto how you find collections on Sora.
Actually, Nina, just so you know, I actually have all of the chat transcripts, and I'm just trying to figure out how to put those online. And I think that I'm just going to put them online as is. And the same with the videos. I'm hoping to get those online sometime today. So yes, I do have those. Paul has a question. Is it possible to upload a video to my Google Drive and make that video available for streaming directly, either by sharing or through a direct link? If so, is there a specific file format that works best? Well, so here's the deal. I'm going to answer this as best I can. I am not, repeat, not an expert on this. So here's the deal. You can upload any kind of file to Drive. Whether or not you can open it is another question. So you have to consider, whatever format you use, it has to be something that the kids can open somehow on their Chromebook. So, you know, you want to stick with things like the basics, like MP4. Just so you know, though, there are ways, and I have to play with it a little bit. You can upload to YouTube and then have that YouTube only shared with certain people to watch. But yes, you can definitely put something on your Google Drive and share it to the students, and they can watch it. But once again, you need to be aware of what kind of file format and whether or not that's going to be something that they can watch either on their Chromebooks or whatever they're using, or on their phones. So it needs to be a pretty universal file format. So something like an MP4 should work. Paul, just let me know whether or not that was an answer to your pseudo answer to your question from a not expert. Yes, you can record meets, Dwayne. We were talking earlier before I started recording about the fact that you can go ahead and start a meet and you're the only one there. And I think you can go ahead and record that. So I don't know why that wouldn't work also.
So Laurie, Dwayne is asking at the bottom of the chat, can teachers record a meet, or is that a child privacy issue?
That's a really good question. So one thing is, I would say you can go ahead and record it. Yes, if you want to be recording it, you ask your students to not show their faces. But we did talk about this yesterday. I think Lucy had the very same question. I suggest not recording. If you're going to if you're going to do a recording for class purposes, I would use something else, or you could use Meet with no one in there. We really don't want to be, I mean, we're already kind of dealing with issues around copyright. And actually, just so you know, let's see. So, and because I brought up copyright, I would really love it if Francie, if you spoke to copyright and read alouds for a minute, I'd really appreciate that.
We're in an ever-changing environment right now. A lot of authors are going online and giving their approval for you to do read alouds, but I think it would be in your best interest to go onto the author's website, see if they've already got something. You all have access to teaching books. There are a whole bunch of read alouds there. You know, we just want to honor the work of these authors, because whatever it is you put online is going to be there forever. And so I'm going to check in, because I know ALA has issued some proclamations about fair use, but I really want to research it. So I think I'll have more answers for you tomorrow.
I want to just speak to that also. I've been kind of running fast lately, but my priority in the next couple days is to put together a list of the kind of some information that speaks to what Francie's talking about, and then where you can find books that are already being read aloud, as well as like hangouts that that authors are doing. Like, we drew along with the author of Narwhal and Jelly Jolt yesterday. He like taught us how to draw all his characters, and it was cool. Obviously for younger kids, but there are, so I guess what I know is that teachers might have certain books that they want to read to their students that they can't find online, and that totally makes sense, and that's kind of where the challenge lies. But in the absence of being able to do exactly what you want to do right away, I will put together resources, and I can bring them here tomorrow. I think we need to get them on the eLearning website too, of where to find books that are already being read out loud, and then what authors are giving permission. Like Todd Parr basically said, you can read and record any of my books online, I don't care. So at least I could have a list for you of folks who are already saying that. I had seen a question about Sora, and I know there are a lot of other questions coming up too. Are we down to that spot? I can do a pretty quick demo. Laurie, you're muted again. I assume you know that.
Yeah, I was muted because I have the window open because I'm very warm in my onesie, and the and the street cleaner went by. You didn't need to hear that. Okay. Good morning, Jose. I'm sorry, that's like way up there. I want to go back at like 10:20. Silka had a question about a parent concern about the appropriateness of stories on Duolingo. So Duolingo is a social media site. I was not aware until I read this that there are stories on Duolingo. I guess I have to re-up my Duolingo and start practicing my Spanish again. So I'm going to check that out. But, you know, I'm going to say in these cases where, you know, you hear something from a parent, you need to use your best judgment. So whatever your best judgment is on this. So this is a very interesting place that we're in right now, where parents are now the teachers and they're kind of doing homeschooling with guidance from us. But so when it comes to things like that, where the parent says, I don't really like the stories on Duolingo, that's really up to them. If they don't want their child using Duolingo, that's fine. That's going to have to be, you know, that's what's going to happen. So you can just say, well, you know, parent, you can use your best judgment. I just suggest that you don't give any work on Duolingo that the kids absolutely have to do. So sorry about that, but use your best judgment. Ask the parent to use their own best judgment as well.
And then Laurie, I would add to that, Silka, if the parent could share something really specific with you, and it is in fact a red flag to you for all of your students, then maybe you want to reach back out to us at elearning@wccusd.net with that specific example. And if that's something that we agree that shouldn't be available to younger kids, then that's a conversation that we have about Clever at the district level. So we would appreciate knowing that for sure.
Let's see. Oh, so Mina, good question. You weren't talking about this meet here. You were talking about the Coronado one. There was no record now button. Supposedly we're all on what's called Enterprise, which means we can all record. I don't know what the case is with that right now. If there was no record now button, I'm going to go ahead and check in with IT and see if there is anything that I can find out about that for you. By the way, I don't know if you're looking, just so you know what the record now button is. So all of you, I don't know if you know, but when you move your cursor down and you get the mute, and you know, maybe you have to click, I'm not really sure about all this, but you get the microphone, you get the hang up, and you get the turn off camera thing all the way to the right. There are 3 dots. And when you click on the 3 dots, you get a recording button at the top. So just so you know, that's where that is. It's not really obvious. So it should be there, Mina, if you could like check into that and, you know, next time and let me know whether or not you were able to do that. Also, it could have been that someone else is recording it already, but they should have let you know before that. Okay. Looking, so it looks like more people want to see Sora, maybe? I don't know, you just showed it, but let's see.
No, I didn't. I just showed Epic.
Oh, that's right, you showed Epic. I'm sorry. Yes, please show Sora. That would be fantastic.
Okay. All right. So to get into Sora, oh, I need to share my screen again, right? If folks want to follow along, I'm about to go into Clever, so you can into the reading section. So let me share my screen. This is such a crazy experience. Everyone just look at my computer screen. Who knows what's open? Right now? Okay, so I'm gonna hop over to Clever. And my Clever looks a little different than yours, but I have the same things. I'm gonna go to reading over on the left. And Sora is a little soaring blimp. Click on it. Obviously, it's really that your school district is West Contra Costa, but this is what we click, the green button. And I will send, well, there's resources, there's a slide deck that guides you through all this. So we'll make sure you know where that is when I'm done. Again, the green button, and then you got to just give it a minute. They're talking to each other. And then this is Sora. So Sora is awesome. We curate, the library services curates the books that are on Sora, and then so Epic puts whatever books they want on that they can agree on with the publisher, but in our district we do the buying and library services of these books. Now the difficulty is there's only one, maybe two copies of popular stuff. It works exactly like the library. Once I check out When I Was the Greatest right here with this yarn gun on the cover, it's an audiobook. Francie can't check it out until I return it or until it automatically returns in 2 weeks. But I can only check out 3 books at a time, so I can't monopolize Sora forever. So the place, Lucy, that I wanted to direct you to is here to Collections. It's kind of small, but it's like one of the best parts of Sora, in my opinion. Once you click on Collections, these are collections I put together. And this is just different ways that I have configured the books that we have available. So Lucy, I would recommend for your students using some of these collections along the top. They are leveled by AR right now. I'm pretty sure you're at Hercules, and I know you guys use that. So let's say I'm at 3.0 to 3.9 reading level. I can click that. Now, of course, there's a bunch of little kid books on here, but it is all, there are also 46 young adult books. Or you have to wait. You have to wait. Sorry, people. So if I want to see the young adult books that are at 3.0 to 3.9, I can click there. Believe it or not, the hate you give. And these are what we would call high-low books that I chose specifically for students who want higher interest books, but are at a lower reading level. I'm going to pause there and see if folks have questions. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you real quick where you would add a public library card. So in the hamburger menu over here on the right, I already have some of mine added, but you go to add a public library. You do have to have the library card. And let's say I wanted to put in Richmond Public Library, California. Okay, that's not working too well. Alameda County, let's try that one. All right. So you can see all the books. If I wanted to check one of these out though, or place a hold, it's gonna make me sign in with my Alameda County library card. And then here I'm gonna put in the card. I would have had to get the PIN from the library in person, I think. So those are some cool features of Sora. I love Sora. If you ever need help with it, you can email me. Robert, collections for the Lucy Calkins units. I so agree with that, and that is something that we have recently had to put on hold. I was in conversation with Christy Rosigno about that until school stopped. So thank you for that reminder, and I bet that that is something that I will restart in the fall.
School hasn't stopped.
Oh, sorry. My job has changed.
Wait, I saw a few things. Duolingo. Oh, I just tell them to use the Learn page. Okay. Oh, shout out to Science. In the comments, Tracy McManus has put up some really great distance learning options from CRS, which stands for Community Resources for Science. They're a really great group who know a lot about science and know a lot about doing science with your kids, which is great. So shout out to that. Yes, Robert, you can get to the comments. I have to post them. I actually have like full transcripts. I guess it wouldn't be a transcript. It would just be the full chat stream, and I'm going to go ahead and place those on the website soon after I figure out what I'm doing with the videos. Let's see what we've got here. Storylineonline.net. Oh, that looks way cool. Thank you, Laurel. Wow. The SAG-AFTRA Foundation's award-winning. Oh, people are reading. Great. That looks good too. Let me see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Any other questions? Can you read the books on Sora without checking them out? Kate wants to know.
Oh,
That's a good question.
but you can check them out and then return them as soon as you're done.
So you can't read them without checking them out, I guess.
Correct. You need to check them out. It's just that once you're done, you can return it and get a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sample, as Francie said. Jose, the physical libraries are closed. That is true. So if you have a library card for a library like Oakland or Alameda County that requires you to have a PIN and you don't know your PIN right now because of the shelter in place, nobody's answering the phone at the library. That is definitely true, and it's crappy.
Yep.
It's possible that I need to think about that. Yes, it would have been better if people had library cards already. I don't think you need a PIN number if you have a Contra Costa County library card. And I think the cards, like the ebooks, should still be working. But yeah, but at least we have thousands and thousands of books online from the district. So that was just like a bonus thing that I showed you how to add the public library. But there's plenty of books to read just from the district that you don't need a public library card for. Oh yes, Francie, Destiny Discover. That's another conversation. We don't need to have it now.
Spanish read alouds. Woo! The SpanishExperiment.com. Thank you, Jasmine. Appreciated. Is now the time that I put on music?
No, I can speak to Destiny Discover. Oh my God, Jose, can you become a librarian and come work with us? You know all the things. That is so cool.
Wait, what did he say?
He's telling us all the different things you can get on Libby and Sora and from the library and Hoopla. So awesome.
I'm a huge fan of Libby. I call it reading for free.
We'll have to meet when this is all over. Laurel, are you asking about a section for secondary ELLs, on Sora, the high interest? So I guess, okay, so Mina has a comment about that Leticia has sent some materials out. It depends on your student's reading level. There are very, very few high interest books, of ebooks, or even any books available commercially that are written at a kinder or first grade level and are legitimately high interest for high school students. That's just the reality. But there's definitely stuff in the young adult fiction and nonfiction category on Sora within those ATOS bands of 1.0 to 1.9, 2.0 to 2.9, 3 to 3.9, and 4 to 4.9. It's just a matter of narrowing it down and only looking at the young adult fiction and nonfiction instead of looking at all of the picture books. So that was what I had showed briefly how to do. If that doesn't answer your question, I apologize. Like I said, I'm making a help sheet of book resources, especially read aloud books. So thank you for posting that read aloud in Spanish, whoever just did that.
Ooh, Francie. Study Sync and Google Classroom. Any insights on that, Francie? Oh, Lucy. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Yeah, definitely loop those Study Sync people in on that one. Lucy, I hope you have a way of reaching Study Sync. I'm sure they have a help website somewhere. Ooh, good one. So Lucy, make sure that they know that you're rostered in Clever. Is Libby available on Clever, or do we need to create the link? Yeah, Libby is just for the public library. So I don't think it's going to be put on Clever. I personally use Libby on my phone. I just have the app. Remember that you can sign up using your library card on Sora too so that would be more for students. Thank you, Sheree. Sheree just popped in with a direct person to contact at StudySync. So for anyone who uses StudySync, that's what you want.
So a couple of questions. So mine was one that Francie put up. So the other day I tried to do a meet. Everything about the sound worked except I could not hear them. They could hear each other. They could hear me. I could not hear them. And from what I'm learning, I'm wondering, could one of my students have been muting me?
Yep.
Okay, so I have to direct them to
yeah.
do what so that doesn't happen?
To not mute you. I mean, this is the thing, is that I think that I'm gonna mute you for a second, and you tell me if you get a warning on your screen. Okay.
Okay.
So this is an experiment. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So now, actually, you have to unmute yourself. So that's the thing. And there goes the. So
and unmute myself.
So did everyone see the warning? So I just want to say that someone jumped in here. I don't know who, but I don't know if they accidentally did this, but they turned off our recording. So that's the other thing too. I just realized, I was like, oh wow, someone just turned off the recording. So I went and turned it back on again. So now there's going to be a little bit of a glitch on that recording. But so I
might have just done that.
We're all learning. Very interesting. So it is a bit of the Wild West with students, because Google Hangout Meet was not made for classroom. It was made for business. So I think that's why it's kind of Wild West and open.
Well, okay, so
they're going to make, I'm sure they're going to have to make some changes at some point.
Okay, so I can instruct my kids on don't unmute me, and they're third graders. I think they will follow what I ask. It was probably unintentional.
Don't mute me. Yeah, actually,
yeah.
You say, yeah, don't mute me. Yeah, and that's really, you're right. That is one thing, is that, and then did you see I think you probably saw that I had muted you, right? Right, exactly. So that's just something. Go ahead.
I could unmute myself, or you could unmute me, right?
No, I cannot unmute you. You would have to unmute yourself.
Then I have to unmute myself.
Yeah, if you get muted, the only person who can unmute you is yourself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing I would like, but it doesn't have to be now, where you all tell me like come back tomorrow for that or whatever, but I think I would like to understand a little bit more about how to run the meet successfully. Like, there's the sound, there's the moving around and seeing the different people, and then when someone's presenting, like I'd love to be able to like call on a student, say like, let me see Francie's answer, and then Francie would come to the center screen. Those kinds of moving around things. Is this a good time to do that, or do you want to send me to a link that already?
I actually think this is a good time to do it, because there are 25 people in here right now.
Okay.
And so it sort of does seem like a class. So there are a few things. One is that you're going to have to learn by doing. That's the way we're doing it right now. I mean, we're on day 4 now of these every day, and I am learning something new every day. So what I learned today was the warning. So what I'm learning, so one thing is that I'm looking at the screen right now, and what I see is some people down the side, right? Down the right side. I see you in the middle right now, because you and I are having this conversation, and because you're talking the most right now. I mean, I'm talking the most right now, but you're talking the second most, so I'm seeing you in the middle. Now, if someone jumps in, like, so if Allison speaks up right now, I have mine set up, it's automatic, so that the person who is speaking at the time comes up in the middle. So just so you know, I'm going to tell you how to do that. Let me see if I can, I'm going to share my screen. I hope it doesn't do that weird thing that we've had screens doing weird stuff when that happens. Okay. So I'm going to share this screen. Okay. So I don't know if you guys, can you see my controls at the bottom right now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So one thing too, and this is great, is you can turn on captions, and I've tried that out. They're not so bad. They're actually pretty good. I'm presenting my screen right now. If I click on the 3 dots here, I click on change layout. I'm on auto, which means that the person who's speaking comes up in the middle. So I'm good with auto. It also automatically does sidebar, which I'm totally fine with. But if you want to change that, that's where you change it. Okay. In terms of calling on someone, I think the way that would work, like, so for instance, I see Allison here. If I wanted to call on her, it would be, I would click on her. I don't think she would show up though. It's more like pinning. If you pin someone, then they're on all the time in the big screen, but not really call. If you call on someone, then if they start talking, they should show up in the middle. So again, saying I'm not an expert right now. So let me turn off presentation. Was that helpful?
Yeah, that's a great start.
Okay. So I also noticed, the other thing that I noticed is that on the left of my screen at the bottom, that's where those messages come through, like so-and-so joined, so-and-so left, so-and-so muted you, so-and-so, you know, those kinds of things. I get those on the left. Those are the messages, the warnings, right? The chat messages then I see on the right as they come up, so that I don't actually have to be looking at the full chat. I can just be watching them come up. Now, when they pop up on the right, when someone says, so if someone could just send a message real quick. When they pop up on the right, they're up for a little while and they only show like 2 lines, just so you know, if someone's gonna like write a really long message, you are gonna have to open the chat box.
Okay, so we can see the people on the side or the chat, but not both at the same time.
Right, exactly.
And I'm thinking for my purposes, we would do more seeing each other and less chat. But like we were on Zoom the other day, which, you know, I'm still a little unsure if it's going to be an option, but you can kind of see like a gallery view. Does Meet have something like that, or no? Was that in the layouts?
I'm going to do present now, and let's see. Let's play with these layouts. Hey, why not? We're all learning. We're all in this together, people.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do change layout, and I'm going to do tiled. But I think tiled. Let's see if it'll do it. It may not do it while I'm doing this. I think we have too many people to be tiled. That's the problem, right? So when
right
you
now,
have,
I can see 3 or 4.
Right. So now we just have 27 people. My chances of seeing more people are going to be with sidebar, but I'm going to choose auto. And so it just automatically goes to sidebar for that one.
Yeah, I actually think this might be a good argument for, I mean, there's many instructional reasons for it too, but as much as possible, I'm thinking about making appointments with my students of like groups of 6 to 8, because 24 kids, I don't see any of these platforms being like really ideal for that big of a group.
So that is kind of how we're pushing this, is that we are saying we don't suggest that you use it in a this is, you know, remembering that this is not regular teaching. Okay. People actually go to school to learn how to do distance learning and get certificates in it. I think we all should get a certificate in distance learning once this is all over, in my opinion. But
I'm gonna give you a sticker. Get a sticker for today.
A sticker, a badge, a button, big button, stickers for your laptop. I can work on that when I have time. But remembering that this is a very different time. You're not going to be teaching the way you normally do. This is also not an optimal time for teaching new stuff, right? This is a really good time to be doing review. And you have a lot to review because you've been teaching since August. So there's a lot to review, and I'm sure there are a lot of things that you can do, you know, just with small groups of kids who need the help. What you can do too, I have a friend who is just doing like office hours, sort of like this. So you can do office hours and the kids can come if they need it, right? Or you set up specific appointments with specific kids. But I really don't suggest doing large groups of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about all that. That's my
okay. I think with what I know so far, I think I could manage it if it was a small group. We can make a few mistakes together and figure it out. If it's not everybody, I'll feel better about that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Mina had a really good point while we were on that. She said that Tile was allowing her to see me, Rachel, Allison, Chester, and the full chat message window at the same time. So again, you just have to play with these things. Thank you, Mina, for bringing that up. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Do people like Zoom more than this Google platform? Depends on the person. Honestly, everyone's trying new and different things. I keep using Google because that's what I'm used to. I have used Zoom before. I really like Google a lot. So I'm happy with it with adults. With kids, it might be a completely different thing. Let me see. Seem to work well with 19 participants. Yeah, I mean, it does. It just depends on what you like. Let's see. Love the idea of using it for office hours. Yeah, office hours. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. You know, it's sort of like helping the people who need it right when they need it. As an elementary school teacher, I would suggest, you know, maybe offering some office hours in the morning and then offering some of them in the afternoon, because depends on what the kids are up to, right? Trying to do, I would say the bottom line with distance learning is trying to do it as asynchronously as humanly possible, because we don't know what these kids' schedules are like. And so I know that they're supposed to be at home, I get it, but you know what, they got to get outside at some point. And when the parent or the older sibling or, you know, grandma or auntie can take them outside, you know, you don't want them to have to work around your schedule, honestly. And we're not expecting kids to be in school for 6 hours here at home, right? I wonder if my kid heard me say that. He probably did. Darn. No. He did hear me. Okay, let's see. Ooh, good question, Francie. Yeah, Go Noodles and Clever right now. Go Noodle is great for kids. Also, just so you know, if you feel like you need to give them some kind of PE, Go Noodle is great for PE. If you are teaching secondary PE, I would suggest, you know, linking some really great YouTube videos. A lot of companies that do, a lot of gyms are actually putting YouTube videos up of their own at-home workouts. So, you know, places like Orange Theory Fitness, and they have their own workouts that are going on. I did one this morning. It was great. Let's see what else. Do we have hotspots for the students? We're working on it. We are working on it. But also, just to let you know, Comcast is free right now. I believe it's free for everyone. It used to be that it was just free. Well, it's free for our families in need. At first, they were just saying it was free for new customers only, but I believe that they just changed that yesterday. So keep an eye on WCCUSD, any kind of emails about that. I think they're going to send something out.
Laurie, there's a couple more questions. I have a few other questions.
Go.
So Mina asked if she will be able to save this recording. I don't think so. Laurie, didn't you say you're planning to post these recordings?
Yes, I'll be posting them. Yes.
Okay. On the eLearning website at some point?
Yes.
So Mina, just for you to know, like, we have hour-long recordings now. This is our 4th one that we're gonna have. It is, yeah, they take a little while to process, so they're not available right away. It takes a little time, but Laurie's gonna post them up on eLearning website when she can. And then someone else asked a question. Shoot, where did it go?
Hotspots,
I guess
for that.
Oh, the hotspots. Yeah.
Yeah, they're working on the hotspots, but also Comcast. So if you go to Comcast.com, look and see what they say. I kind of looked at it late last night, so I've kind of forgotten what it said. But it seemed like it seemed like it was for, at first they were saying it was only for new customers of Comcast. Now it looks like they've opened it up for our families in need.
Yeah.
So I do not know how they are to prove that. So that might be something that comes out hopefully. And just so you guys know, the schools, all the schools or some of the schools are open this afternoon.
All schools.
for materials, if families need to pick up materials, or if they need to pick up a Chromebook if they didn't pick it up on last Friday.
My other comment about Go Noodle from a parent perspective is I think it could be really nice for teachers to identify like a couple videos to use each day, because I know some of them are kind of educational also, and post those in your Google Classroom, because I can go down the rabbit hole with my own kids trying to decide which super fun Go Noodle we're going to do at any given moment. So just a suggestion around Go Noodle. I would love that as a parent, if someone would be like, just do these 5 today. Yeah, that would be awesome. Also, they have really great yoga videos on I love those. I forget his name. Maximo is his name. Oh. And he's purple. He's like a monkey or something. Isn't that the check those out? I love him. He's great. I'm a fan. Yes, and mindfulness videos. Yes, Maximo. Cosmic Kids Yoga also. There's so much on there. They're awesome. All right, Robert Gerson, you have our closing music.
Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? While you see it your way, run a risk of